Let me share with you 3 of my best all-time driver videos. You know, driving doesn't have to be that complicated, especially when you get some of the secrets that I'm going to share with you here. Let's go and get started. All right, so hit that one well. How do we have that effortless swing, that nice smooth rhythmic swing like we see with the top pros, Ernie Els, those guys, and still create good club head speed? That's what everybody wants to know. Do you feel like you get really tight with your hands and arms? Like when you try to swing harder, you start casting the club a little bit more, your forearms tighten up, your arms tighten up, you feel like you're just working really hard and your swing speed actually goes down. So how do we do that? That's exactly what we're gonna go over in this video. So you'll see there I swung just over 115 miles an hour, 301 yards of total distance, but it didn't look like I swung that hard at that golf ball. Well, that comes from 2 separate pieces. Number 1, I have to get momentum from the body. The big pieces in my body create the big rotation and allow the momentum to happen so that my arms can just swing freely around that. And then piece number 2, we have to learn how to transfer that energy into the hands and arms to get that whip of the club coming through contact, to get that snap of speed right at contact, where it feels very effortless, but our swing speed stays pretty high. It's exactly what I'm gonna talk about in this video. Now this is a work along video, so stand up out of your chair right now, grab a golf club, start doing these drills right now with me, and you're gonna thank yourself later because we're gonna get you more club head speed and make it smooth and effortless while we're doing that. Let's go and get started. All right, so let's jump right in. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna lose this club and let's work on the momentum of the body. And what I want you to do here is put your hands and arms across your shoulders, or the top of your shoulders. And we're gonna do some rotations back and through to get the body rotating and moving the way it should. One of the problems that I see when players feel like they're putting out a lot of effort but not getting much swing speed is a lot of hands and arm action, not very much body action. So they pick it up with the hands and arms, they push it through with the hands and arms, and the hands and arms are doing all the work. Your forearms are tight, but you don't have that base momentum. What I want you to feel like here, imagine your body is kind of encased in a giant wrecking ball, just a concrete ball around your body, and you're creating that momentum by letting that rotate back and rotate through. Now as I'm doing this, to make this happen efficiently, I want to go ahead and let that left heel lift a little bit. That also helps if you're not very flexible. Letting that left heel lift up allows you to rotate those hips, get the body moving there a little bit, and you don't have to be super flexible to make this happen. So just put your arms across your shoulders. We're gonna do 10 reps as I'm coming back, letting that left heel lift, making that wrecking ball momentum kind of rotate to the right, getting that good shoulder turn where I feel like now I've made at least a 90-degree shoulder turn. Now as I come on through, I'm gonna let that heel drop down to start my momentum moving left, and then I'm gonna turn that wrecking ball coming all the way on around, and you can see my right foot comes all the way up. So do a good 10 reps just kind of rocking back and forth in a fluid motion as that's happening. So really feel like you're loosening yourself up, getting that big shoulder turn coming back and through. And then once you're comfortable with that, let's add the swinging of the arms onto this. So the next 10 reps, go ahead and let your arms hang out to your sides. Now, instead of being parallel with the ground like this, in our golf swing, we're swinging on a plane or in our posture. So our body's tilted forward and we're gonna let our arms kind of swing as our body rotates. So again, do the same thing there. Let that body momentum carry you to the right and then let your arms swing back. Now you drive that left heel down, let the momentum move to the left, and you let the arms swing on through. We're gonna do 10 more reps of this. So letting those arms go back, letting those arms go through. Now, as you do that, you can start to feel the body carrying the momentum and the arms are just swinging kind of effortlessly as this is happening. That's a real key into creating club head speed without being jerky. Let me give you an example of this when I'm swinging the club. I'm gonna let my body, the momentum of my body, carry my arms back and through. We'll see what that looks like. So nice and smooth. And I'm letting the transition of my body kind of move my arms. This would be the opposite of that. I'm gonna do my arms putting out all the effort and the force. That's gonna look, and my body isn't gonna move, it's gonna look like this. I'm probably swinging about the same speed there, but one of them, my hands were very tight. I flipped, I felt like I was very uncontrollable on it when I did all hands and arms. The other one, I let that momentum build, I let my arms swing, and that made things a lot easier. All right, so now let's add the club with this. But before we do that, let's get used to the whipping of kind of our arms, kind of having this little whip and acceleration as we're coming through contact. So again, get the body moving, get those arms swinging. As you're coming through contact, feel like your arms kind of accelerate right through contact. So they're smooth at the top, they're whipping or accelerating through contact, and they're smooth at the finish. So again, 10 reps, really getting that speed just happening down at the golf ball, and that's where you want to have the speed in your golf swing. If I'm trying to create speed back here and hit hard from the top, I'm burning up all my swing speed as I start down, it's gonna look rushed, it's gonna look really jerky. So do a few of those to get that feeling, and then recreate the same thing, 10 more reps swinging the golf club. Again, imagine the wrecking ball, momentum back, momentum through, allow my arms to swing back, snap a speed at the bottom, but smooth as I'm at the top, and smooth as I'm at the finish. That's gonna look something like this. So I'm gonna do 10 reps, nice and smooth everywhere except for the bottom. Let the body carry the momentum of the club. Let those arms swing freely. So I'm gonna do 10 reps of that, then I'm ready to move on to the next piece. Okay, so now you may be asking yourself, you know, I understand I'm supposed to be smooth here at the top. I understand I'm supposed to be smooth at the finish. But man, when I hit the ball with any kind of distance, I definitely feel like I have to tighten up and start putting some force into that club. Well, here's a great trick that's gonna help you to stay soft with those arms. Now, the reason we wanna do this, again, is if I get tight with my forearms, let's imagine, you know, I'm gonna start flipping the club and casting from the top. Well, in order to do that, my forearms tighten up, my bicep and my tricep tighten up, not only with my left arm, but more importantly, my right arm starts doing that. So I go from a elbow leading the way to kind of throwing with the right arm straightens up, all these muscles get tight. A great way to get rid of that tension so that you can have some lag. If I want to have some lag, I have to have those arms soft, let this stay bent, carry that angle down, and then I can release it at the bottom when we get that snap of speed. But if I want to get rid of that tension, a great little drill to do is go ahead and get in your setup position, and then from there, kind of move your elbows in a circle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and relax my elbows, move around a little bit left and right, feel like I really take the tension out of my arms before I swing, and then from there, I wanna feel like I carry that tension over as I start my downswing to get that lag. Then when we come on through, I'm opening everything up, letting the body momentum open, and releasing that lag out in front of the golf ball. If you get tight at all with your forearms, if you get tight at all with your elbows, those elbows lock up, you try to guide the swing, it's gonna look like this. Big cast at the top, and then pushing everything through, very low swing speed and very high effort. So do another 10 reps, loosen up those elbows a little bit, make 10 more swings, letting the body momentum carry the way, get used to that tension-free swing. And then we're gonna move it on to the last piece, which is now that we have this lag and we allow those elbows to stay soft to get that lag, now let's talk about how to release that and when to let the arms fire to get that snap of speed. All right, so let's take it to the final piece. We started from the ground up, worked on the feet, then worked on the body, worked out to the arms. Now let's go to the last missing link here, which is that club. It has got a lot of lag. Let's release that lag. And what I found is players a lot of times struggle releasing lag and understanding what they need to do to release lag, and they end up getting tight to try to control that, to try to drag that on through. What we really need to be doing is being soft with those arms and then releasing lag as hard as we can past the golf ball, which we'll go through here. Now, in order to control this club, we're going to be swinging at some pretty high club head speed here. If I don't have the proper grip, if I don't have my hands on the grip the proper way, what I'm going to end up doing is tightening up my hands to try to not lose control of this club. So what I mean by this is if I grab a tee, you can do this very easily. Again, grab anything laying around. You can even grab a pencil, a pen. And if I put the tee or the pen or whatever it is between my thumb and my index finger, just like I'm going to hand this to you, well, that's naturally going to kind of close up all the gaps in my hand. A lot of times what I'll see players doing when they're gripping the golf club is they'll be gripping it like a hammer. So where my thumb's almost wrapped around, and then the thumb kind of comes off my fingers this way. So you see there's big gaps in my thumb and my finger. There's gaps as I'm coming through here. And what happens is as I start to swing, that club can slide around in these gaps and I can lose control of this face. A couple degrees off on the face and we're gonna have big misses right or left. So having that club being able to move around like that in your hand, gonna be really tough to control this and be able to create lag and release lag very quickly and efficiently without trying to tighten up and guide the club face. So what we're gonna do here, instead of having that thumb out long like this, that looks something like that for the grip, what we're gonna do is pull that thumb back to what I call a short thumb. That's gonna angle your hand more on the grip, and you'll see how that kind of closes up all the pockets. So now every little gap of air, and what you'll feel like is it almost sucks the air out of your grip, is now gone. And I have that short thumb just like I was gonna hand you that tee or hand you a pin between my index finger and my thumb. So when I do that now, when I look at the club, I open up my hand, you'll see how my hand is a little bit more angled like this. So it's not on there like the baseball grip. That way, it's kind of angled this way. That allows my thumb to shorten up, and now all those air pockets are closed. I'll do the same thing with the right hand. Instead of having the hand like this and having that thumb kind of loose off to the side, a lot of gaps where this club could move around, I'm going to shorten up that thumb, pull my hand closer to my left hand. You're going to do an interlock or an overlap, either one is fine, or even if you do a baseball grip, it's fine. We just have to take out all the air from there, and now you can see how every little pocket of air in here is going to be sealed up. When that happens, now if I relax my hands and you tried to pull this out of my hand, it would have a tough time coming out of there. I have so much surface area of my hands on this club, it's creating a lot of surface tension, and you can't really grab that out of my hand very easily. So what that allows me to do, say, okay, Clay, we've been talking about this grip for a while now. What does that allow me to do with lag and release and an effortless swing? Well, when I can stay really nice and loose and relaxed with my hands and still have control of this golf club, now I can let my wrists be soft. So you'll see here as I'm kind of letting this club swing back and through, my wrists are very soft, but I could swing very hard while I'm doing that and still feel like I'm gaining control or have control of this club. So feel like you tighten up those air pockets by pulling that thumb back short, and then from there, now you can remain soft and loose with the wrist. So when we make that downswing, we talk about those elbows and the wrist being soft and we create this big angle, now I can release that and my wrists are fluid enough to release to what we call the straight line release point. So once I get all that lag, I'm just thinking about opening up my body, carrying that momentum, everything's going to that straight line release. I'm swinging through and letting the contact of the ball happen. That only happens if my wrists are nice and loose and pliable. If I feel like I have to control this club with my grip, I get tight with my hands, I'm automatically going to cast from the top. My right arm's going to straighten out and I'm going to flip and really have a bad impact position. So let's put all those pieces together now. We've gone through these reps, you're starting to feel good with it. Try to stay loose, try to stay relaxed, and feel like the momentum of the body carries the swing of the swing speed, but my hands and arms allow that club to snap through impact and toward my straight line release. Let's go ahead and hit one more here. Get that effortless swing, see if we can get another 300-yard drive. There we go, right down the left center. Definitely did well there. I definitely felt like my wrist could go ahead, let them go to the release point in front, and my swing speed just happened without me trying to kill it. So my club head speed actually went up a little bit on that one, 117 after doing those drills, got the momentum going, and my total distance carried at 300, rolled out to 307. So definitely happy with that. You guys are gonna be happy with it too once you practice these drills. Do you ever get over the top of the golf ball and feel really tight? Well, I'm going to show you some ways to make a more effortless swing, get more club head speed, and just have a lot more fun playing golf. We got Q here who's going to read some of the numbers. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, there's things you can do in your swing that are going to make you really tight. One of the most popular things is keeping the right elbow kind of tucked into your side in the backswing. We don't really want to do that. What happens when we keep that arm tucked in, we make a shorter hand path, so our arms don't go back as far, and that slows down your club head speed, or how far you can hit the ball with the driver. So if you think about this, the only place I'm touching this club is right here in the handle. So the longer the period of time, or the more space that I have to move that handle, the more club head speed I'm going to get. It's also the smoother and the more effortless your swing is going to be. So if I keep my right elbow just kind of tucked into the side of my body, I'm not really going to get a lot of swing speed. So let's go ahead and try one out like that. That was a really good swing. Hit it great. You can hit great shots doing that. There's nothing wrong with that as far as how solid you can hit the ball. But what were the numbers on that one, Q, as far as distance?
Yeah, club head speed was only about 105 miles per hour, and total distance, it went 275, but you hit it really, really well.
Yeah, so a perfectly hit shot, that's about all I'm going to get out of that. So 105 miles an hour club head speed. Now, let me free this up. As I go to the backswing, imagine I'm letting my elbow go up to the sky. I'm letting my arm reach a little bit higher. The good thing about this is you don't have to be very flexible to do this. If you can take your arms and lift them this way, that's really all we're doing. We're lifting them over the right shoulder. Where people tend to lose some flexibility is when they think about going back this way, trying to swing back behind their body, because they simply can't rotate their shoulders and their arms enough. So don't worry about getting tons and tons and tons of rotation. Think of it mostly as getting those arms higher, that right elbow higher. Let me try that out on this one, and let's see if we get a little bit more swing speed and a little bit more carry distance. So that one wasn't even hit as solid, dead straight, right down the middle of the fairway, but I can see just from a visual, without even Q telling me the numbers yet, that one carried a lot farther. The other one landed short of this hill that I'm looking at. That one carried completely over the hill. So what were the numbers on that one, Q?
Yeah, 119 miles per hour on that one. Total distance was 315.
So I picked up 14 miles an hour of swing speed, feeling like it was actually a little bit less effort and hitting it a heck of a lot farther, almost 40 yards farther with the same amount of effort, actually a little bit less effort. So when you keep that elbow in, I have to get really quick, I have to get tight. Everything feels like I'm just trying really hard and not getting a lot of swing speed out of it. Now, piece number two, sometimes when you get those arms a little higher, you may have a tendency of coming a little bit more over the top or hitting a little bit more of a slice. That's what the second piece here is really, really important. As I start my downswing, the next thing that's going to make this effortless is getting some lag. Now, what I feel like and what I think you should feel like to get the most lag that you can is in the backswing, don't get very much wrist set. Feel like the club's not setting very much. So the arms are getting higher, the wrists aren't setting, this club is short of parallel, and then as you start the downswing, then that's when you want to feel like the club is setting. Now, another secret to making this lag happen is you have to feel the club going this way, shallowing out a bit. If I'm trying to get lag by going this way, cocking the wrist straight down with this club shaft steeper, I'm really going to struggle to hit solid contact. I want to feel like as I shallow the club this way, that's when I'm getting my lag. So the club feels like it's working this way more to the inside. That's a great thing to pair up with our first piece, higher hands, because now you can take advantage of having those higher hands. You're still going to be from the inside, and now you get this huge angle that you can let whip through contact there. You're going to get a lot more swing speed. So let me go ahead and try again here, adding that nice bit of lag in there. Let's see if it even increases my swing speed a little bit more. There we go, hit that one nice and solid. Exact same line the last two shots. That one flew over the hill again too, so I know that one's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, 119 again on the club head speed, up to 320 on the total distance.
Yeah, so a little bit more distance, right around the same great swing speed. So the big mistake there, I don't want you to feel like you're getting a lot of wrist set in the backswing. So I don't want you to feel like you set the wrist early. Feel like you don't set the wrist early, you let them set later. And then you also want to shallow that club out. Now, the final piece to getting this effortless swing is making sure that you finish the swing. So many times I'll see players that do everything right in the backswing. They get big loaded up, they start to get a little bit of lag, and then their body stops and they flip it, and everything at impact just gets destroyed. All the good work they did in the backswing gets destroyed in the downswing. A great thing to do to make sure that we take advantage of that good backswing and we actually deliver that swing speed through the golf ball is to finish the swing. So whenever you come on through, I want you to feel like you're rotating as much this way toward the target as possible. Notice my right heel. If my right heel stays on the ground, there's no way for me to go through this shot. My body's gonna stall. It's gonna feel like a lot of effort. I have to let that right heel come off the ground and swivel all the way around this way. Another trick to this, open that left foot a little bit, especially if you're a little tight in your hips. You don't feel like you have tons and tons of flexibility. Opening this foot is going to allow you to finish your swing, come all the way around to that lead side. And then finally, your legs with this. If my legs are bent, as I start my downswing, I have some ability to rotate my hips. So when my legs are bent, I can fire the muscles in my legs to rotate my hips. If my legs are locked, now I don't have any ability to open my hips because the muscles that open your hips are in your legs. So you have to make sure that you feel like you have some flex in your legs and you don't go like this at the start of the downswing. I don't fire my legs completely from the start. I keep them bent, and that allows me to rotate around to that good full finish. Let's try one here, and I'm really gonna feel like I get to a great finish, and we'll see if we can get even a little bit more distance than I got on the last couple. All right, I hit that one well. I really felt like I got my legs driving through the shot and finishing that swing. You know, I didn't close my body off and do it all arms. So what was the numbers on that one, Q?
So 123 mile per hour total club head speed there, and then total distance was 321 yards.
So that definitely great distance there. Definitely helped a lot by finishing the swing. I bet you've been trying to get lag by creating a sharp angle with the wrist and then maintaining that or holding that angle throughout the swing. What if I told you that won't work to get as much lag as you deserve? You actually need to do the opposite of that. I want you to have almost no wrist set in the backswing. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get a big shoulder turn, a big arm swing, really get these hands back, and I want to feel like this club never sets, almost like a John Rahm, where at the top of your swing, the club is straight up and down toward the sky. Then in the downswing, we're going to increase that. So let's start with the backswing. I'm going to feel like my wrist never set in the backswing, like they go wide here, very little angle on my wrist. This would be what's called a radial deviation. This would be ulnar deviation. I want to feel like it's an ulnar deviation, and I want to feel like if I had a laser shooting out of my golf club, that laser is pointing up to the sky at the top of my backswing. Now, it's really not going to happen that way. If you feel like your club is straight up and down, it's going to end up being about like that. So feel like it is way up there, no wrist set at all. This club head to the sky. If you had a 10-foot ceiling, it would be popping through that 10-foot ceiling. And then from there, here's the big piece. As you start your downswing, now I'm going to feel that sharpen up. I'm going to feel like this club gets that angle in the downswing. Tour pros max out the most angle of lag they have when the left arm is parallel to the ground. I call it the max lag position. So when I'm making my downswing here, I want to feel like it's sharpening, sharpening, sharpening all the way to here. I want to feel like if I'm going this direction, I want to feel like that club would come down and hit me on the back of the shoulder. If I hit the top of the shoulder like this, I would be too steep. A lot of players make that mistake. I want to feel like it hits the back of my shoulder like that. So no lag in the backswing, and it's going to hit me in the back of the shoulder, bounce off the shoulder there. Again, that's not going to happen. These are just feelings. But if you have those two feelings, man, it's going to be really easy to create a whole bunch of lag in the golf swing. Watch how crazy this lag gets when I really try to do this exaggeration drill that I just went over with you. There we go. That thing took off low like a bullet because I had a ton of lag, a ton of shaft lean, almost too much lag, to be honest with you, for what I would want to get in my swing. I almost overdid it to where I overlagged the club, and I felt like there's not enough time to get through with it. If I had an iron, that would be the same kind of swing. They would have tons and tons of forward shaft lean, and it would come out low and super compressed. You do those two things together, and it's going to make a world of difference. But there's a third thing that is even more important. The third thing is getting close enough to the ground while maintaining your width. And I have something called a pirate ship drill. Now, if you can imagine that there is a line between your hands and the center of your sternum. When I make lag, or when I try to get lag, here's a mistake that I see everybody make. When they sharpen that angle up, they fold up and get narrow. The distance between my hands and my sternum got shorter. My backswing, I was way out here, and my downswing, I was way here. Even if you get a lot of lag, if you break that down and get shorter distance there, you're not going to get the club head speed. So you may say, hey, I got a ton of lag, it looks better on camera. Why'd it go 20 yards shorter? That was really weird. Well, I have to keep that width as that's happening. I have a really intuitive drill called the pirate ship drill, where I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. I'm going to talk about how to get this lag and still maintain this width so that I can create club head speed. Imagine a club swinging around on a circle. Well, if it's a really tiny, tight circle, it's not going to move very fast. Imagine now this big, long circle, less energy, less effort, you can get that thing moving a whole lot faster. So I'm going to play a preview of that here in just a second. All you're going to do is go ahead and click the card that's going to pop up somewhere on your screen here. And if you don't see the card, don't worry about that. Just go down to the description below, click the link there, and you'll get instant access to that pirate ship drill. You pair that up with what we did here today, and you're going to have tons of lag, and you're going to get a lot of club head speed. Best of luck. I'll see you in the pirate ship drill. All right, so let's jump right in to one of my favorite videos I've ever done on lag, one of the ones I've seen the best results with. And we'll talk in a minute why this is called pirate ship, but it's really a play on a wide, narrow, wide drill, or a wide, narrow throw drill that I've done in the past and have tons of success with. So if in the backswing, my club head kind of at parallel to the ground was, say, a good 5, 6, maybe even 7 feet away from the center of my body. In the downswing, it's much closer to my body. That's the narrowing part because I have this big angle of lag. And then I throw all that out in front, really let those arms extend, and I go wide again. Now, a lot of times, I'll see players misinterpret this drill, and they take a really good drill that's having tons of success, and they do it the wrong way and really struggle with it, feel like a lot of hands and arms. So if you've done this drill in the past and you feel a little bit out of sequence, you feel like your hands and arms just aren't working right, I bet this is exactly what you did. So when you're going wide in the backswing, that's all good. Most people get that correct. You really got to rotate the body. But when they narrow, the misrepresentation that a lot of players will have is they'll narrow up the arms, not the club head that we want to narrow, but they'll misinterpret this drill as narrowing the arms, and they'll do something like this. I want you to think of your arms as a pirate ship. Here's what I mean by that. You've probably been to an amusement park before where they have one of these big giant pirate ships. Everybody's packed on there in these seats. And then the pirate ship is down at the bottom. There's a big arm, and then that arm starts swinging back and forth just like a pendulum, right? And the ship goes back and forth. Well, the cool thing about this, so you can relate to your golf swing,